I'm gonna do a very quick check.
Donc là c'est bonheur.
Well tight. There you go. This is good. It seems to be good. Are you having a good time?
Fucking good.
This is it, my very first Enduro bike. That is a 501 FE Husqvarna 2018. Let me introduce you to all the modification I did on the bike. Let's go straight to the point. This is freaking awesome.
Moi je la trouve bien là quand même. Hein.
Ouais, sympa. Today's video is about turning this 501 FE into the ultimate adventure build ever made. No, I'm kidding because I watched a few videos online on YouTube and I know there are some very, very good builds out there, but I think we've got a very, very solid base. Now the idea is to really make the ultimate lightweight adventure build. I'm super grateful for the brands who agreed to join me in this build. Let's do our own. Let's get into it. We're gonna start with the front. Rade Garage, very, very beautiful piece of gear. Clamp, here, see the clamp. This is the right side. So I removed the speedometer, and the idea is to put most of the cables in this location, and then there is a carbon part that goes on top of it. So this is what it looks like from the bottom. A little bit of cable management, Loctite. I installed already the bridge, they call it the bridge, and then I'm gonna put the Mako 360 with the SRT Factory handlebar. I need to put a guide for the brake line. Okay, perfect. Now I need to put the tower. I pre-mounted it so that you see what it looks like now. There you go. And this is what it looks like. See, it's very clean. This is the same tower as the Rade Garage Rally Tower on the KTM. And there goes on the Husqvarna. Now what I'm gonna need is to remove the windshield, to remove the headlight, and to connect everything here. Let's get to work. Cable extension for the headlight provided by Rade Garage, of course. I'm gonna put the high beam, there you go, and I'm gonna plug this one with the OEM. Ooh, it's hot. Nicely done. When you know what accessories, you've got a bunch of cables here. You can plug them directly into this, and this comes into this spot here. The high beam is gonna be the little one, and the low beam, like the normal beam, is gonna be the big one. See the difference? Clicks. I know that some of you may not like the tower because I agree it's like a lot in front of the bike, but like on the KTM this is so freaking nice. And in my opinion, it looks kind of good. I'm not gonna do some very, very hard enduro because this is a 501, this is not like a two-stroke, but I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this one. Shouldn't do it. So that was the Rade Garage Rally Tower. I know it's a little bit in the front of the bike, you know, like there must be something like 30 centimeters in front of the bike, which could look a little bit weird, but I think it actually looks very, very good. Before I go further with this, I need to install the Mako 360. For those who don't know, this is the Mako 360. What is that? This is pretty much a vibration and impact reduction system, kind of a vibration dampener. A little thank you from Keith. Shout out to you, Keith. This is what you've got in the box. This is what actually dampen the vibration. It's super easy to set up. You see there's a few bolts, there's some rubber kind of stuff. It pretty much dampens the vibration, the impacts, and it feels, in my opinion, very comfortable to ride with this handlebar. I've got the red polymers, and inside I've got the blue. You must refer to the guide of Mako 360 to understand what it means. 14 Newton meters. This is something I really hate to do. I am changing the handlebar with this one. So this is the handlebar from SRT Factory. Super nice setup. Look at the shape. It's completely different. This is the same handlebar that I've got on the KTM 890 Adventure R. It's definitely very, very well built, very, very strong. I never bent my handlebar on the 890, even though I took quite a big falls. I know I can rely on this handlebar when doing off-road stuff. Rotator out. Then you take the bridge, and this is supposed to be in the front. So guys, this is the Gear Mako 360.
It works very good. You have a very nice feeling when you're riding. I was a little bit worried about that because the handlebar stays on rubber. Okay, that's the concept of it. I was a little bit scared that you would, kind of lose the feeling or that it would slightly move. But it does not. It's very, very nice. It's very sturdy, and you have a very good response to direction to the front wheel. This is very, very nice.
We've got the Mako 360 installed on the bike. We've got the new SRT Factory handlebar. I just love this one. Like, the angle is a little bit wider, a little bit taller as well, which make it, like you've got a very, very nice position. Plus, it comes in blue. I'm gonna change the rotor, there you go, and put the Moto Master. We have rear sprocket, flame rear disc, chain front sprocket. I'm going to replace the OEM brake rotor, brake disc, difficult to say, rotor, by this one. This is the Moto Master flame disc. So the first thing I want to do is use the Epen waterproof grease. I'm gonna use it on the front axle. It starts to look like a real bike. This is what it looks like at the moment, which is quite freaking nice. That was a little bit of work, eh? Anyway, I've received a few products from a brand in the US. It's called Molecule Motorsport protection for the bike. I'm going to install those upper fork guards. Handguards. I think the model is called the Flag. The only thing I'm quite surprised is that it goes on top of the clutch and brake levers. There is no screws that go, on the another point. For example, the KTM. It goes from this to this, which means it's very, very sturdy. Here, on the contrary, it's only one point of fixation, which I guess if you fall very hard on this, it will just move up or move down. You've got two holes, just put the screw. You have a handguard. Let me show you the setup for now. The Rade Garage setup, good. We've got the first front flame disc and the Molecule Motorsport protection here. And we have the Mako 360. We've got the SRT Factory handlebar. And we've got the Molecule Motorsport handguards. We're getting somewhere. Next step is Skidplate from Molecule Motorsport. See the difference? Show you like that. There you go. So apparently it covers way more, which is good. As you can see, compared to the OEM skid plate, it actually protects now the water pump. Super nice. Lovely. What I'm gonna do now is replace the rear sprockets and the chain. I'm going to clean everything. For the cleaning, I've got a specific product, which is, the wheel cleaner. Are you ready? Look at the result. I haven't touched anything, okay? Look at all the dirt. OEM and Moto Master. I am also going to remove the chain guide and put the one from Molecule Motorsport. It's all about looking good on the trail, right? Up. Front sprocket, Moto Master front sprocket. There you go. This is 13 teeth. It fits perfectly. There we go. Lovely. GPX N Gold 520 X-ring narrow. Gold one for the flex. We're dirty here on the floor. That is a good looking sprocket. And there we go. Next is the rear disc rotor. And nice. Husqvarna. DID. I'm kidding, don't worry. You may ask, why am I bothering changing the disc even though it's still like brand new? I like the Moto Master brakes better because of the look. I think it's good enough for a reason. That's the difference. Flame. How do you call it? Square? No, flame is better. This is a very good looking sprocket. And chain. I'm gonna have to cut the chain. This is not something I like to do. Let's put the glasses on. Let's go. And now Look at that.
That's pretty much it for the front of the bike. Let's go slightly towards the rear, but we're gonna stop in the middle. That is the IMS fuel tank.
That's the 3.2 gallons. The reason why I chose this one and not the biggest one is that it's way too big for my ears. When you take the very, very big one, it's way bigger here on the side.
The thing is, I could have gone with the 17 liters, but I've watched the video online and need to remember the name, and I'll definitely give a shout out to these guys. They were comparing different sizes of fuel tanks, and they were saying that the 17 liters, at some point you cannot expand vertically the fuel tanks. So you need to expand the volume on the sides of the fuel tanks. It's going to expand a lot here, which means that when you're sitting on the bike, your knees wouldn't be like this, but a lot wider, a lot more open. And I wanted to keep this Enduro style, so I wanted to have a good balance between range and position and weight, of course, and you know, like riding style.
I think you can do something like 200 kilometers with this IMS fuel tank, the 3.2 gallons.
About the range, this weekend the maximum range that we did was 180 kilometers. We did it yesterday. I still had a little bit of fuel in the tank left, and a little bit here. I would say not even 5 centimeters, okay, of fuel left, which I think would have lasted for like maybe 30 minutes. I think the maximum range I can get out of it riding Enduro is 200 kilometers, which is quite good for an Enduro.
I think this is the best compromise between space on the bike and weight, of course, and the range that you can actually do compared to the OEM fuel tank, which is, I think, 8 liters. This one is a bit more than 11 or 12 liters. It's very, very simple, okay? It's very, very sturdy. It looks very strong. Okay, so the fuel pump goes on the left side, and then you need to, actually on the FE models, you need to change those screws with some specific KTM parts. I'm gonna change the fuel filters, okay? So the filter that goes from the tank here, from the fuel line, to the engine. I've received quite a lot of products. See that from Golan. Of course, the one I chose is this one in blue. It comes in blue. It's gonna go from the fuel line here towards the engine. I think it's a lot more reliable. And from what I've understood, it has more capacity, you know, in terms of filtering, and it's like very, very precise. There is a very, very effective filtration, providing a maximum flow of 3 gallons per minute with no restriction. And this happens with the compact filter, so this is the one. A maximum flow of 6 gallons per minute with no restrictions with the super mini filter. It is washable, reusable, clean with air or soluble rinse. These are the best performing filters available in the market today, combining high performance, durability, efficiency, and ease of maintenance. So I'm going to replace the OEM cone filter with this one from Golan in this direction. That's just going to clip like that. That's it. Pretty easy. This goes here. And now you've got the Golan. Need to make sure that the arrows are in the flow direction. Insert.
Yeah, that is a Golan fuel filter, and apparently it works super nice, super good. Let me show you guys what it does and what's the good thing about the Golan. Okay, that is a filter, which means that what goes into your engine is actually very, very good. There is the fuel pump just around here that is already going to filter a few things, and you've got another fuel filter here that you can, you know, like, you can clean it very, very easily. You just need to open it, and it opens very, very easily. You can clean the inside of it to make sure that your engine has very clean fuel burning inside of it, which is good for your engine.
Friends, now we're gonna install this. This is the Rekluse Motorsport Apex clutch. There you go for the reference. This is a manual clutch. What you have in the box is a new clutch cover, Then we have the whole hub. So it's not only the clutch, like friction disc. Why this clutch? I've got the Apex clutch on the KTM 890. This is the same clutch from Rekluse. I've never killed my clutch from Rekluse in like 30,000 kilometers of riding. When I had the OEM clutch on the KTM, I killed it in not even 5,000 kilometers, you know, doing wheelies, doing off-road. So when I switched to the Apex from Rekluse, total game changer. As far as I'm concerned, I don't have the feeling of improving, you know, like the performance of the bike, but it's just a little bit smoother and you just don't have to worry about your clutch anymore. You have peace of mind once you're on the trail. And for me, it's all about enjoying the moment, enjoying the ride, and not, you know, worrying about stuff like that. Very, very beautiful design, very good engineering, very... Let's go and install the Apex clutch from Rekluse. I'm gonna use this oil. This is the Shogun Off-Road from Ippon. I'm gonna bath the friction plates into some oil, plenty of oil. And this is something you really have to do when you install a new clutch. Very, very important step. Look at the precise engineering, how beautiful that looks. Remove the center hub assembly from the bike. Make sure the thrust washer is in place on the main shaft and not stuck to the bottom of the center hub assembly. And those are dampeners. 1, 2, 3. These rubber thing install the Rekluse inner hub onto the Rekluse outer. This is the new hub. The new stuff to prevent the nut from leaving, provided by Rekluse. This is the OEM nut. I've just tightened it to 68 Newton meters as per the instructions, torquing the nut to 68 Newton meters. And absolutely perfect. What I'm gonna do now is I'm putting the new pressure plate by the ring. The belving ring goes on top of it. You're gonna be super careful not to make it fall into the engine. Otherwise, you're totally fucked. Very, very, whoa, man, that is super important. There is actually a spring ring optimization table. You've got markings here on the spring rings. There's 1, 2, and 3. It says that the OEM spring ring has different settings to account for variances in the clutch pack and wear. The optimal setting depends on the thickness of the clutch pack. This one is brand new. I will consider that the thickness is maximum. And so when it's 28.5 millimeters, I'm supposed to put the spring ring setting to number 3. Is this one. Now it says to torque these bolts to 6 Newton meters. No. And that's it. We just installed the Rekluse Apex clutch. Fantastic. We're getting somewhere. We are almost done now. I've got a few more products that I received from NiceCNC. So I've got a new side stand fork upper protections, front brake disc protection. I've got the same one for the rear back plate, kill switch and starter buttons. So I'm going to install this rear brake pedal. Just gonna slide it here. Yeah, super grip with the IMS footpegs. Just super nice stuff. This is the NiceCNC one and lovely. I'm going to install this back plate from NiceCNC. The idea is to put the Noblin from Moto here so that you can strap your luggage. This should be just fine. Let me show you guys probably the best tire I've tried so far for Enduro. This is the new tires from MotoZ. Those are called the Tractionator Outback Race. And this is freaking awesome. I'm running Moose for the first time. Friends, there is a lot to say about this bike. Man, this is freaking awesome. This weekend was just a blast. It was a very good way to discover the bikes and all the products all together, just to make sure everything works, everything fits. I just love this build. I think this build is just super nice. The only thing I'm waiting, and it arrived yesterday, is new
graphic kit from Backyard. So my friends, that's pretty much it for the build. This is my new custom build. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you had a good time. Let me know in the comments what you want to see in the future with this bike. Yeah, I think we've got everything here.
Allez,
Naruk.
to friendships, motorbike and camping sauvage. Hein?